Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Think Tank Tube. Today we're going to dive into the wonderful world of epigenetics. Now, I know what you're thinking. Epigenetics? That sounds like a word from a sci-fi movie. But fear not, my friends, because we're going to break it down and make it easy to understand. So, what is epigenetics? Simply put, it's the study of changes in gene expression that are not caused by changes in the DNA sequence itself. It's like the DJ of our genetic code, controlling which genes get played and which ones get put on the back burner. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does that actually work? Great question. See, our DNA is like a library with books representing different genes. Epigenetic changes can impact whether those books get checked out and read or if they get dusty and forgotten on the shelves. But why should we care about epigenetics? Well, it turns out that these changes can have major impacts on our health outcomes. Things like our diet, exercise habits, stress levels, and sleep patterns can all impact our epigenetics and therefore our health. So it's important to understand how it all works and how we can make positive changes. So for today's video, we're going to dive into the relationship between lifestyle factors and epigenetic changes. We'll cover the impact of nutrition, exercise, stress, and sleep on our epigenetics. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn how to keep that epigenetic DJ spinning in all the right ways. Ah, epigenetics, you sneaky little devil. It turns out that there are a whole bunch of factors that can impact our epigenetics. And no, I'm not just talking about that old family heirloom that's been passed down for generations, although that might have an impact too. One major source of epigenetic changes is our genetics themselves. That's right, some of these changes are inherited from our parents, kind of like that pesky unibrow or freckles that just won't quit. But genetics aren't the only game in town when it comes to epigenetics. Things like nutrition and exercise can also impact our epigenetic code. For example, certain nutrients can impact DNA methylation, which is kind of like a light switch for our genes. So it's important to pay attention to what we're putting in our bodies and make sure we're giving our epigenetics the nutrients they need to thrive. Speaking of exercise, did you know that hitting the gym can actually impact your epigenetics? It's true. Exercise has been shown to impact histone modifications, which are kind of like little post-it notes on our DNA that tell our cells which genes to turn on and off. So, if you want to be the boss of your epigenetics, lace up those sneakers and hit the pavement. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but stress can also impact our epigenetics. Specifically, the hormone cortisol can have a major impact on our epigenetic code. So if you want to keep your epigenetic DJ spinning in all the right ways, it's important to manage your stress levels and make time for self-care. And there you have it, folks, the sources of epigenetic changes. So whether it's inherited, nutrition-based, exercise-induced, or stress-related, there are a whole bunch of factors that can impact our epigenetic code. But don't worry, armed with this knowledge, you can be the master of your epigenetic domain. Okay, now that we know what epigenetics is and where these changes come from, let's talk about the real reason we're all here: our health. Turns out epigenetic changes can have a big impact on our risk for all sorts of diseases, from heart disease to diabetes to cancer and beyond. But how does this all work? Well, it turns out that these epigenetic factors can impact the way our genes are expressed, which can have a major impact on our health outcomes. Think of it like a game of genetic roulette. The way our genes are expressed can determine whether we hit the jackpot of good health or end up with a whole bunch of snake eyes. But don't despair just yet. There's good news too. By understanding how epigenetic changes impact our health, we can start to take action to protect ourselves. This might mean making changes to our diet, hitting the gym more often, or finding healthy ways to manage our stress levels. And hey, even if you're already dealing with a health condition, understanding the link between gene expression and health outcomes can be empowering. By taking steps to support our epigenetics, we can potentially slow down the progression of these diseases and live our best lives. So whether you're trying to prevent disease or manage an existing condition, understanding the role of epigenetics in our health is key. It's time to take control of our health, one epigenetic change at a time. All right, it's time to get practical. Now that we know how much of an impact epigenetics can have on our health, it's time to talk about how we can take control of our own epigenetic destiny. And the good news is, it's all about lifestyle. That's right, folks. By making simple changes to our daily habits, we can impact our epigenetics in a big way. Let's start with healthy eating habits. Turns out the foods we eat can actually impact the way our genes are expressed, so it's time to start loading up on those leafy greens and antioxidant-rich fruits. Next up, regular exercise. Not only is it great for our overall health, but exercise has also been shown to impact our epigenetics in some really positive ways. So whether you're a gym rat or just a casual walker, it's time to lace up those sneakers and get moving. Of course, we can't forget about stress management. We all know that chronic stress is bad news for our health, but did you know it can also impact our epigenetics? That's right. By finding healthy ways to manage stress like meditation or deep breathing exercises, we can support our epigenetics and potentially reduce our risk for disease. And finally, let's talk about the importance of sleep and rest. It might not be as exciting as hitting the gym or trying a new recipe, but getting enough sleep and taking time to rest and recharge is crucial for supporting our epigenetics and keeping our bodies functioning at their best. So there you have it, folks. The power to impact our epigenetics is in our hands, and our forks, and our sneakers, and our meditation cushions. You get the idea. By making simple changes to our daily habits, we can support our health and potentially reduce our risk for disease. Let's get to it. Now, let's talk about measuring and evaluating epigenetic changes. You might be wondering, how do we even know if we have epigenetic changes? Well, that's where epigenetic tests come in. These tests are like a crystal ball into your DNA, allowing you to see how your genes are being expressed. Epigenetic testing can be used to evaluate the effectiveness of lifestyle changes, such as a healthier diet and exercise routine. But just like any other test, there are limitations. For example, epigenetic changes can vary throughout your body, so a test that looks at only one type of tissue may not give a complete picture. Overall, while epigenetic testing can provide valuable information, it's important to understand its limitations and to work with a healthcare professional to interpret the results. And that brings us to the end of our epigenetics and lifestyles video. Remember, the choices you make every day, from what you eat to how you manage stress, can have a real impact on your epigenetics and overall health. Epigenetics is a relatively new field, but its potential significance cannot be ignored. By understanding the link between gene expression and our lifestyle choices, we can make informed decisions that may help prevent diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. To sum it up, it's clear that lifestyle factors can have a profound impact on our epigenetics and, in turn, our health. By making healthy choices and taking care of ourselves, we can potentially influence our genes and live a longer, healthier life. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining videos. We've reached the end of our video, but before we go, let's take a moment to appreciate the amazing complexity of our bodies and the intricate dance between genes and lifestyle. Just think about it. Trillions of cells working together in perfect harmony, with epigenetic modifications influencing which genes are expressed and which aren't. It's truly awe-inspiring. And the best part, we have the power to influence our epigenetics and shape our health outcomes. So let's make the most of this incredible opportunity and start making healthy choices today. Remember, every step you take towards a healthier lifestyle is a step towards a happier, longer life. So let's get out there, make some healthy choices, and embrace the power of epigenetics. Thanks for joining us on Think Tank Tube. Keep on learning, and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing content.